Oh my goodness, that has a lot of pigment. Wow, impressive. So I recently placed an order at e.l.f. and picked up a few of their new launches and a few things that are just new to me. And I'm going to try them on for you today, do a full day wear test, and let you know what I think of them. If you want to see how I got this look using these e.l.f. products, then stick around. So on my complexion, I have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint Mineral SPF 50. I'm doing an incredibly thorough review of this, including a full day wear test. So if you want to see that video, it should already be up, and I will link it up in the cards here and down in the description box. So if you're curious about this skin tint, if it's going to work for you, check out that full video. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it in this video because that one is going to tell you everything you need to know. And at this point, I don't know how it's going to wear because it's at the beginning of the day. In that video, I do a full day wear test, and so all of that information will be there. But for now, I think that my complexion looks really pretty. And in case you haven't seen that video, I will include a little bit of a clip here of me putting this on. e.l.f. says that this is a hydrating serum-like skin tint that delivers light, buildable coverage with a natural dewy finish, plus mineral SPF 50 sunscreen with no white cast. I am going to suggest that you don't rely on this for the SPF in it and just consider it a little bit of a bonus, because in that video, I also tested it as a standalone sunscreen. And let's just say it wasn't great. I am not going to belabor the point here too much. This is terrible as a standalone sunscreen if you use the amount recommended to get the full SPF 50 protection. If you want to see the actual results from that, you'll have to go check out that video. It's infused with niacinamide plus Bisabol and allantonin, and it's available in 18 flexible shades. I also set under my eyes and the center of my face with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. I don't have a new e.l.f. bronzer, so I'm going to use the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in Honey Drip. This is one that I worked on in my Out the Door in 24 project pan last year. I had a significant pan, and then I used a heat gun to melt it so that I could get my finger in it without getting it all underneath my fingernails. So I'm just going to put this on. I'll be right back. Okay, so complexion is warmed up, and now I'm ready to use some of my other new e.l.f. products. One of them is the e.l.f. Sheer For It Blush Tint. e.l.f. says that this is a buildable cheek and lip tint that leaves a lasting stain. The watery texture of this multi-use blush tint makes it easy as e.l.f. to blend and build up for a dreamy tint of color with a natural finish. I've never used a liquid blush tint stain like this before, and obviously e.l.f. is going for the Benetint dupe here. I am a little concerned, honestly, with the watery texture if it's going to break down the skin tint that I have on my face. But a lot of people use them and love them, and so we'll find out. I am going to use a stippling brush, I think, to blend this. The directions say to just swipe this on your cheek and then blend with a dabbing motion. So that's what we're going to do. I'm a little scared. I don't know how much of this to use. That might have been way too much. We'll just see. I'm going to use this sponge of mine and blend a little because I feel like it's a little strong. Maybe on the other side I won't use so much. And I feel like I need to look and see what happened to my foundation. I think it's still there. Okay, let's do the other side. Maybe I won't swipe. Maybe I'll tap. Is that a better method? When I put this on my hand and swatched it, it didn't seem like it was going to be quite this bright. It's a really pretty shade, though. It is a really pretty shade. I probably should have worn more pink with my top than this corally color. But hey, that's okay. The good news is I don't think it disturbed the foundation underneath, and I think it's really pretty. Color me shocked. Wow. Moving on, I don't have an e.l.f. brow pencil, so I'm going to go fill in my brows, and I'll be right back. I did pick up a new e.l.f. Wow Brow. It's one of my favorite brow gels because they have very sparse lashes and they're very blonde. A clear brow gel does nothing for me. I need a tinted brow gel. This is in the shade Taupe, and it has this little spoolie. When I put it on, I like to kind of swirl it in carefully so that I don't like get it all over my skin. But I feel like this kind of coats all of the brow hairs, tops and bottoms, and then I'll come back and brush them up. And this is something that is really good for me to use my 10x mirror for so that I don't make a mess. And it just gives those brow hairs a little bit of color because right now all of the color is on my skin and then there are blonde brow hairs in front of that. And so especially if I'm outside or in the sun, those blonde and gray hairs are going to just glisten. And it just looks odd if they don't have any color to them. I think that just does a really good job without going overboard, and it's so affordable. Moving on to the eyes. I had one of the e.l.f. 10-pan palettes in the rose gold nude, but it's in different packaging, and so I'm not sure if it's different formulation or not. So I decided to pick up a new one, and this is the Keep It Ethereal palette. And yes, it is another neutral palette, but I just love them. So I grabbed a few of the mattes to live swatch so that we can see how they go on. Oh, that's very nice. So for one swipe for each of those, yeah, I think that was really good. This palette is $10. I had 20% off for reaching the pro tier, and so I got it for $8. And a couple of the shimmers just to live swatch, and then I'll swatch the whole palette. Just let's do these two. Those are really pretty. I didn't dig in hard in the palette to pick those up. What I particularly appreciate about this palette, as opposed to the little bite-sized palettes that only have 4 shades, is this is a complete look. You have everything from very light to deep. Now, it doesn't go super dark like a deep, deep brown or a black, but I think you can probably get fairly deep with that. And then lots of different options in between. And you also have a mix of cool tones and warm tones. So this, I think, is a really versatile palette that you can get a lot of different looks from, and it's inexpensive. So especially if you want to take it on a trip or something, if something happens to it, it's not catastrophic. I'm going to use several shadows out of here today just to see how they perform. And I'm going to start with the lightest shade here to just kind of set my lid and cover any discolorations, lines, veining, that sort of thing, just to give me a nice soft base to start with. I will show you the right eye and do the other eye off camera to save time. Since I'm wearing this peachy coral top, I am going to go into the warmer shades today, and I'm going to move down, first of all, to this one because I'm going to do a gradient. And so I'm going to use this shade and then this one. And this I'm going to start building above and into the crease, also known as the transition area. This one, if you have hooded eyes, you're going to want to look into your mirror straight ahead so that you know that you're getting this above the crease, so that when your eyes are open, you'll be able to see that shade. And I'm taking it right up to that orbital bone and then out, and I'm not bringing it down, but out. That's a pretty shade and has nice pigment, but it's very blendable. I'm going to go back with that brush that I used that light shade on, not putting anything else on it. I'm just going to use it to help blend the top so that I don't have any harsh lines. Using a denser, more domed brush, I'm going to now step into this little bit deeper shade and take that more directly into the crease and a little bit on the lid, on the outer third of the lid. I feel like when I do the placement this way, it makes my eyes look a little bit bigger and less hooded. Then I'm going to go into this deepest brown shade with the same brush and just dab it right into the outer V. Just placing the shadow with that brush, I'm going to go into a clean, fluffy brush and blend. Of course, I'm going to use some shimmers, and I think I'm going to use this one here in the outer portion of the lid, and then this one to brighten up the inner portion of the lid. I'm going to do one eye with a brush and the other eye with my finger, so I will show you both eyes for this. I use a flat shader brush when I'm going to do a shimmer with a brush, and I'm just going to press that. Oh my goodness, that has a lot of pigment. Wow, impressive. So that's that one. And then the lighter shade. And then the other eye, I'm going to use my finger. And I like to use my ring finger or little finger because they're smaller. It's also harder though to be precise with your finger. So if you're looking for precision, a brush is going to be your tool of choice. And then this one. I don't really feel like there was that much difference in the application as far as the intensity of the shimmer. It was easier to control with a brush. When I was trying to figure out what shimmer I wanted to use, this one is already getting hard panned. I'm going to have to try to scrape some of that off. So take that for what it's worth. But for 10 shades for 10 bucks, it's a pretty good deal. I'm going to grab that domed brush that I used the deeper shades on and just pull a little bit under the lower lash line to connect what's happening in the outer corner with under the lash. I don't always do that. A lot of times I'll leave my under lash just completely bare, but I felt like I wanted to do it today. I do have a little bit of fallout from that deeper shimmer, so let me brush that away. I don't have an e.l.f. eyeliner, so I'm going to use my Moira brown eyeliner that I'm trying to use up. And I always like to put my setting spray on before I put my mascara on, because when the setting spray re-wets the mascara, it gets all over my eyes. And I am going to use the Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. I would prefer probably to use the Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist with this glowy skin tint, but I don't have it. So we're using this one instead. And then just to make sure everything is all blended together, I also have the e.l.f. Incredi-Curl Mascara. I did a full detailed review of this. I'll link it up here in the cards, down in the description box. And if you haven't seen that whole video, I suggest you go watch it if you're thinking about purchasing this. Right now, I actually prefer the Lash and Roll or the Lash Extender for an e.l.f. mascara because I don't have to do this with them. Don't have to clean off the brush. And I don't know if I got a defective stopper or what. On that video, someone commented to check and make sure that the stopper was in there. And it is. It just puts so much product on the brush and then it gets super clumpy. So I am going to clean it off well because I have found that if I do that, it doesn't get quite as clumpy. I have also learned that if you want more than one coat of this mascara, it's best to do one eye completely before you move to the second eye, because once it dries, it really doesn't layer on itself very well at all. Last thing to do is lips, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner. These are $2. They are excellent. They don't last forever, but they're creamy, and I really like them. This one is in Truth or Bear. And I think it's a really nice, warm-leaning nude. Then, to go with that, I have a new glossy lip stain. A gloss and stain in one, infused with mango seed butter. It goes on glossy and stains lips. Once the gloss fades, the sheer stain leaves lips with a pop of color. I have another one of these. I don't remember the shade name, but my daughter loved it so much that she asked if she could have it, and I gave it to her. And when this one came in, she asked if she could have this one too. And I said no, because I wanted one for myself. This is lightweight. It's super comfortable to wear. And then, like it said, when the gloss wears off, the stain is left behind. I think it's really pretty. And then the other product I got that I'm not actually going to use today because it won't go with this look at all is the Fine as Fleck glitter eyeshadow in Pop of Pink. I should have gotten a warmer shade that I could have used with this palette so that I could let you guys know how it worked. It will go great with this rose gold palette that I have. And if I have time, maybe I could do a look and use it and stick it in here. This is a topper shade. It's not meant to be a super opaque glitter in any way. And it just is going to give you some extra sheen on top of your pinky mauve rosy looks. And what I like about it is that while it's glitter, it isn't big, chunky glitter. And I don't feel like I'm going to have to worry about it getting in my eyes or under my contacts or being all over my face. And I think if you applied it wet, you would probably get a bigger payoff. So I'm actually going to put a little setting spray on my finger. Go into the shadow and then swatch it and see if it's... And yeah, I think you can see that the wet swatch is actually more intense than the dry swatch. Can you? I don't know. I can tell. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. Anyway, I'm excited to use this, and especially pairing it with this rose gold 10 pan. I think it'll be super pretty. It's the next day, and I decided I'd do an eye look where I could test this glitter eyeshadow and stick it in. And so I used the e.l.f. Rose Gold Nude palette and got a really pretty mauve-y eye look. The matte shades I used were this one here, this one, and this one. And then I used this shimmer in the outer half of the lid and this shimmer on the inner portion. These are not super metallic shimmers, so we're going to bump it up a notch with the Fine as Fleck glitter eyeshadow in Pop of Pink. And I'm putting it on my finger and then just going to put that right over what I have there. Did it do anything? Oh, there it is. Okay. I was not sure if it did much, but yeah, I think you can see the glitter. And I think I'm getting a little fallout already. I did get quite a bit of fallout yesterday from just the palette. But, you know, I guess I don't mind sparkling a little. And so I think it just added a little bit more sparkle to the eye look that I had. It's pretty, but is it worth $6? Sorry, e.l.f., I don't think so. So real quick, here is this look in natural light by a window and in bright sunlight. It's currently noon and I'm going to go about my day, and then I will be back to do an 8 or 9 hour check-in at the end of the day, let you know which products held up, which didn't, which ones I think are worth your money, and which ones I think you should probably just skip. I'll see you soon. It's been 8 hours since I've had this on my face, and because I'm filming 2 videos today, I just did the wrap up for the full, in-depth, thorough review of this product. And as you'll see if you watch that video, my conclusion was, I'm not very happy with it. I look oily, I feel greasy and tacky, it's worn off on the center of my face, and I'm pretty shiny. It's also settled in a wrinkle that I have along here. It's settled under my eyes several times during the day. I've had to tap it out. It's not settled there now, but that's because I don't think there's any left. And so sadly, this is not one that I would recommend if you have mature, combo oily skin. If you have dry skin, it might be amazing for you. But I don't have dry skin, other than the fact that I do have a little dry patch right here on my upper lip, and it's kind of clinging to it weird. So I'm not sure what that means for you if you have dry skin. But for me, this is a no. But I'm not going to get rid of it right away. I will try it with different primers and powders and setting sprays and see if I can get it to work, at least for like when I put my makeup on later in the day and it doesn't have to last a full day. Maybe I can use it that way. I did a 4-hour check-in on the in-depth review, and it actually was okay still. So if I only had to wear it for like 4 to 6 hours, it might be okay. But I have so many foundations that do go the distance that actually reaching for one like this isn't going to happen unless I force myself to do it. That said, let's talk about the other e.l.f. products. One of the surprise winners today is this e.l.f. Sheer For It blush tint. I didn't think I was going to like the liquidy formulation, applying it. I didn't think it was going to last, but honestly, except where the foundation itself wore off, I actually can still see the blush. So the tint did work. I didn't use it on my lips because I had the glossy lip stain. This did not stain. It did not last. Pretty quickly after I put it on, I went and I had lunch. It was completely gone. I put it back on so that I could do my 4-hour check-in on the foundation review. And within an hour or two, it was gone again. So it may say that it's a stain, but it didn't really stain. I would like to use this one on my lips as a stain, however. The other thing I want to try for you today is using this Sheer For It blush tint on my lips. It does say that it is a buildable stain for lips and cheeks. So yesterday I used it on my cheeks. I did not use it on my cheeks today, but I'm going to use it on my lips today. And I can't decide if I want to put a lip liner on or just this, but I think I'm just going to put this on. And it is very wet. It's like putting water on your lips. So I'm not sure if you're supposed to blot them or just let it dry, but I'm just going to let it dry and see what happens. I'll put a note down in the description box and in a pinned comment about how the lip stain and the glitter eyeshadow wore. I know that I love the e.l.f. Wow Brow. It's a great brow gel, very inexpensive, and I will continue to repurchase this over and over again. I was really happy with the 10-pan palette. I feel like my eyes still look great. I did get some glitter fallout on my cheeks from the shimmer shades. Not crazy about that, but it's not a deal breaker. So for $10, I think this is a really nice palette. I've already done a full review on this Incredi-Curl mascara, and while it's not horrible enough that I want to throw it away and not use it, I also won't repurchase it, and I will instead opt for the Lash and Roll or the Lash Extender mascaras, which are both excellent. In the plus column for this, it doesn't flake or smudge. In the minus column for it, it does get clumpy, and I feel like it doesn't hold the curl all day. It does kind of curl your lashes, but then it's heavy and I feel like my lashes fall. So I won't repurchase. Have you gotten anything new from e.l.f. lately? Let us know down in the comments what you've tried and what you think of it. If you love e.l.f. as much as I do and want to see some more product reviews, I've got a whole playlist of them that I will put right there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you in the next one. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye-bye.